YouTube. So today I wanted to talk about how to connect with your deity via journaling, which is something that I've been really into recently. It is probably one of the main things that I do on a regular basis to connect with my matron, and I do it almost every Sabbath as well, especially the ones that are, or the equinox or whatever holiday is really aligning with her that I've experienced so far. I really have done it just because I feel like it's just trying to connect with her on that. I do it on a day-to-day basis, but that is just, it feels like a little extra something special. So I wanted to share that experience with you guys, and maybe if it's something you'd like, you could try it out. So first thing I do is I get really into that state of mind. I like to meditate for a good 10 to 20 minutes. And by meditate, I mean that I am just trying to clear my head. I'm trying to focus on whether it is just the feel of the fabric on my body or the feel of the breeze on my face. The sounds currently going on around me. I'm trying my very best to take those in and have those consume my thought process so that I am opening into receiving, because that really opens me up. The second thing I do is I light a candle. I don't necessarily create a circle for this. I feel like it's more of a one-way connection that I'm doing. I light a candle and or incense that I feel, I don't know, it just always makes me feel witchy if there's something burning. That's just, fire element helps connect to the spirit or the passionate side of me, I guess. I always like to have something burning. And then I always have a drink which will correspond in some way to my matron. Since my matron is Persephone, I try to always have either pomegranate juice or a pomegranate tea. So I currently have one that is raspberry green tea and pomegranate, which I'm really enjoying. And so when I do this journaling process, that's a lot of times what I'm drinking. I'll brew a cup of that, slurp it down, again trying my very best to remain in that receiving mind state of listening, totally open. Those are the types of things. Before I do all of this, there are times where I will then write down a set of questions that have kind of been bothering me and or curious, something that I feel that she might have a great answer to, and that I could ask her within me to get. And once I have kind of done all of this and really feel I am in the proper mindset, and I feel like I have basically gone from the everyday conversations that we have to a very different type of conversation, I sit down at my altar and I prop open my mirror book and I write down the first question I have. I write it and I try to focus on the question, each word, each letter as I am writing it. This really helps me focus, and then it's the first thing that pops into my head that I write next, and that is that answer. That is her responding to me. There are times where I will catch myself mid, as almost as if she's changing her thought process on the answers. And they're never what I expect. There are a lot of times where, even experimentally, I will start writing one way, and then I'll say what I think my expectations are going to be for the process. And sometimes she meets them, and sometimes she's very different. Sometimes the answers that pop into my head are ones that I would not have even considered until I went into that state. And that's when I really feel that she is speaking to me, really trying to teach a certain lesson. And then afterwards, I will review the thing after I thank her for the conversation and for her thoughtful answers and for giving me the time to really do that. And once I've done that, then I kind of move on and it goes on to the next thing. I try to reread them days later to really see what other lessons I can learn. What other things were I personally looking for within that question and answer session with my matron. I try to push forward even more so, maybe think of new topics that I could bring up with her the next time I do it. And if any conversation really stands out to me, then I have started recording those very specific ones into my book of shadows with ink, because I feel like it was a specific lesson that I probably am going to want to reflect on back in with my matron. For anyone who does not know or haven't seen my previous videos, I keep a book of mirrors, which is my book that is kind of my witchy ramblings. It's whatever pops into my head spiritually. It's my messy book. And then I have my book of shadows, or my grimoire, which is my look back book. It is a book that I feel when I record into it is a record of permanence. It is an extra set of magic. It is just something that is really concrete. So that's why I keep the two. So I kind of have Book of Mirrors as kind of my draft grimoire. So that's why I'll record all of my conversations of this are always put into my Book of Mirrors, never onto another piece of paper. Always the Book of Mirrors when I'm having them. And then if I find they're of significant importance, something that I need to remember for later in my witchy path, those always go into my grimoire. Just so I can look back on and do all that. If any of you guys try this, please let me know in the comments below. Or if you have other ways that you commune with your matron or patron on a regular basis when you're asking specific questions. What do you do? Do you ask for a sign? Do you open a conversation? Do you visit them in the astral plane? What is it? What is it you do? Anyway, this is part of my Utopia series, so I put up new videos every single day for the month of October. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.